Okay, let's continue our run here. Let me get a little quick refresh. Where we're at, we have a lot of, we got the Rod of Clouds, a good emergency button. Oh, we got the Curari needles, very good. We got the sling. A lot of potions and scrolls that we need to be. Okay, so as far as scrolls and potions go, I'm still not 100% sure the best way to handle identifying of scrolls and potions. I've been in the habit since I've been playing this game of I get to a certain point, to a safe area, like for example I'd go up to the previous level that I've cleared out, and I would just read all my scrolls to identify them. You see what they do. Most of them will get wasted. Pretty much all of them will get wasted. But you'll now know what that scroll is, so when you pick them up again, you'll be able to use them. Now, the counter to that thought is, well, you've just wasted, all these scrolls. It would have been better to wait until you either use scrolls of identify, in which case, obviously these are great because you get to identify the item without wasting it. But there's not enough to identify all your scrolls and potions. So the alternative would be to wait until you pick up a second scroll or a second potion of whatever it is you're going to identify, and identify it then. But basically, that's I don't know if that really saves anything. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I typically use my identify scrolls on my potions. I think they have the bigger effect, and they also have the most dangerous effects. So before I start randomly quaffing potions, I'd rather know what the potions are rather than quaffing. Whereas the scrolls, I'm perfectly okay with just reading every one of them. Very rarely is something terrible going to happen if you're in a safe place. So here I'm going to identify all my potions. Potion of Curing. Potion of Flight. Hopefully we get like heal wounds or something. That would be... Oh, I already have heal wounds identified. Okay. So we'll just keep doing this. Read. Okay, Potion of Might. And now I'll go ahead and use the last one on this scroll. Scroll of Noise. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and read all of my... Short Sword of Draining. Let's go ahead and power that up for now. So that was a weapon, scroll of Enchant Weapon. Sometimes I would probably save it regularly, but obviously I couldn't save it because I just had to use it right then since I read it. Scroll of Fear, Scroll of Blink. See, that would have been nice to not have to waste because those are probably the best scrolls. And a Scroll of Teleportation, very good for escaping. Scroll of Recharging. We'll go ahead and recharge the one we probably won't use. And then we'll read the Enchant Armor, and we'll just go ahead and enchant our Ringmail of Fire Resistance. So by enchanting an item like that, you turn it into, like my Ringmail is now a +1 Ringmail of Fire Resistance. That +1 on armor just indicates it gives you an extra armor class. So now instead of 7 armor class, I have 8. And for weapons, it does the same thing. It does basically 1 more damage, and it has 1 more accuracy. The one thing I do want to talk about, I did address, I think in my previous videos where I was talking about the attack speed of the weapon, where it says base attack delay. That's basically the attack speed of the weapon, and it says your minimum attack delay is such and such. In this case, it's 0.5, and you reach that point. Basically, every 2 points of skill that you get within that weapon school will reduce the base attack delay by 0.1. And then, so this is saying once you hit a weapon skill of 12 in short swords, you will get, you will have a minimum attack delay of 0.5. Now, to kind of put it in perspective, like what it's talking about when it says minimum attack, like what is an attack delay? So if you look at the attack delay of the short sword, it says it's 1.1. Okay, so if you look at the time in the very top right of the screen, there's like all these stats, and it says time. Now, typically most actions in this game take one time, and you can see as I'm moving, it's taking 1 time, right? Now, the weapon, how fighting works in this game is that when you attack something, it takes that much time for you to swing that weapon. So here, it's actually going to take me 1.1 time to, they call it alts, but I'm just going to call it times, just to not confuse anybody. And you'll see it on the time when I do this. So now, instead of being 483.1, it'll be 84.2. Well, it should be. Let's see. I mean 85.2, right? Did I miss that? Oh, you know what it is? Because I'm wearing 6.3. Okay, that's right. 1.1. Yep. 7.4. 8.5. There we go. So that's kind of how it works. So basically, the higher that number is, the slower your weapon is. Now, how that affects it is that basically every time the enemy's attacking, the enemy is going to attack. They also have some like a time that it takes them to attack. So, for example, if the enemy is attacking and their weapon attack only takes 0.5, then that means that every time I swing this weapon, they're hitting me twice for every one time that I swing this weapon. So if you're wielding a big two-handed mace and it's got a attack delay of 1.8 or something, and then the enemies are attacking fast at like 0.6, you're getting hit 3 times for every one time you swing that mace. So it's very important that if you want whatever weapon school you decide or what weapon you want to use, you get that attack delay down, because you're essentially doubling your attack speed with that weapon. You're taking less damage while you're dealing more damage, and it's just very important to hit that minimum attack delay. So that's kind of how that works. And you can see by next to time, it'll tell you, that little in parentheses is telling you how long it took to do your last action. So right now it's telling me, okay, all these actions are taking 1, and then when I swing with my weapon, it was saying 1.1, meaning, okay, it's taking you 1.1 to attack with that weapon. So that's just kind of a little insight to the inner workings of the game. It might help you make some more informed decisions. Okay, so this is going to be unique. Do we have? Let's see. What are we training? We're still training fighting. We're on Dungeon 5. I'll probably get fighting to 6, and then we'll start doing something else. I'd like to find a good mace or flail. Let me do something here. So if I hit Control F, it's gonna search for what? So I'm gonna do mace. -3 mace. No. So there's nothing good enchanted that I've found so far. So this is gonna be unique. Named Pykle. I don't want to fight any of these guys. All right. So here's what you do. In this case, you do not fight. I know from experience that I shouldn't fight this. I mean, could I win? Probably if I go berserk. And use Trog's Hand, I could probably definitely take those guys on. But to be safe and to not use so many resources, I'm going to go down a different set of steps, and I will fight them in a better position later on. Okay. Okay, so here we have a player ghost. In this game, when you die, your character becomes a ghost in the dungeon that you have to fight, and they are very dangerous. So it even says he looks extremely dangerous. He's mastered slow. He's an arcane marksman. Let's see what's in this catalog of snow and battle magic. Okay, there's nothing good in this shop. I probably don't want to fight this guy either. Well, I probably can. Well, no, because I'm near starving, and I need to eat first. Let's eat. Oh, he actually poisoned me too. Or somebody poisoned me. Alright. I think I can kill him if I go berserk. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to immediately go berserk. And he slowed me, which is bad, but berserk speeds me up, so we should be okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. I gained 2 levels of fighting, so they're worth a lot of experience. It's a risk-reward thing. You just have to be very confident you can fight them, because they will kill you. Alright, so the other thing about going berserk is it uses a lot of hunger. What is this? Oh, okay, so we don't want to fight all these guys. And these priests are very dangerous for low HP characters. We do not want... It's not such a big problem for us, but we don't want to fight all these guys at once. Let's see if we can bait some of them into coming upstairs. Oh, I didn't press the wrong button. Oops. I did not mean to go back down like that. Alright, let's heal up. Let's go back down. Let's switch to the hunting sling and trade with this guy. Alright. Killed him. Did I get? Nope. He's gonna get close to me. Yep, now we'll change weapons. Attack, attack, attack. Okay. Fighting level 8. I'm gonna chop this corpse up. I'm gonna go back upstairs. Now, with fighting level 8, because we got so much experience, I'm gonna move on to something else. And it's gonna be... what kind of armor am I wearing? Well, I already have maces and... Oh, I already have maces and flails at level 10. Fighting... You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get maces and flails up to its minimum delay, which I believe is 14. When we get what I'm really looking for, I'm looking for a an enchanted mace or a flail of anything, and that'll outdo this dagger, a short sword draining. The mace might, because I'm so trained in the in maces right now, it might already be worth it to switch over, but the dagger of draining is just really good. It just makes hard enemies pretty easy to deal with. Alright, so there's a lot of... Okay, so here, a lot of these guys are immune to negative energy from the draining dagger. So let's try breaking out our mace and see what happens here. Okay, so you can see next to the time, I swung with the mace and it only took 0.9. So I'm actually attacking faster with the mace than I am with the dagger of draining. And not only that, but I do more damage, it's more accurate, so it's probably more efficient to use the mace at this point. Especially for them, because they're immune to the draining effect. What is this? A dagger of needle of slowing, okay. Grab this, we should be able to kill all these guys, yep. This guy, we should be, okay, we got poisoned. Okay, this is dangerous. Centaurs are very bad. They will tear you apart as you try to get close to them. And I already got poisoned, which is terrible. I have stuff for this. Let's try... I wonder if I can... No. I don't want to just keep getting pelted by this thing. Let's see what happens. Maybe he'll come next to me. He is. The centaur shoots a poisoned arrow. Okay. Okay, now we're in close, so now we're safe. As soon as you get safe, as soon as you get close, you're a lot safer. It's best to break line of sight, but because I was already in the open, if I would have ran away, he would have just kept shooting me and chasing me with arrows, and the sky beast would have kept attacking me. So I thought it was better just to try to kill the sky beast, and hopefully the arrows wouldn't do too much damage. Okay, so this is dangerous. But we can funnel them in here one at a time, and we can kill Pykle. Should be pretty easy. And now the slaves are freed, so they are on my side. So I will let them attack these gnolls, and we'll actually move in and assist here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Whip of freezing. That's all I needed. Now, this the whip of freezing is our new best friend. +2 especially. Nice. So yeah, now we're set up. And the whip is going to attack a lot faster. 0.5. So we are attacking really fast with this whip. And it's got a freezing effect, so we're applying the freezing effect a lot faster than we were applying the draining effect with the dagger. And we're doing more damage with it. So all around, this is where we want to be. And I'll probably use this for a long time, to be honest with you. Okay, I say that. And then we come across Edmund, who has a flail of protection. And that is one of the items that is intriguing to me to switch. If it's like a +2 flail of protection, I'm probably definitely going to switch, because I think the armor is extremely valuable. But we'll see. I guess first we have to kill him. Let's do Control X. Let's examine Edmund here by hitting V. He looks dangerous, so he's not really that bad. Okay. Alright, so we should be good. A little low on health, but we should be fine. He hasted himself. Oh, he drank a haste potion. Huh. I might have to berserk. We'll see what happens. So, hits me, doesn't do very much damage. We're missing each other, missing each other. I froze him with the whip. Okay, there we go. Good to go. Let's grab this and let's see what it's all about. +0. But it gives you +5 armor, so I go from 8 to 13. But the whip does more damage. Huh. I think we're gonna walk around with the whip, and then maybe in a dangerous situation we can switch. I don't know. I don't like having to make that decision. Protection from fire. Let's see what the stats of this thing is. Base. +0, +10. I think the whip is less damage, more accuracy. Yeah, that does a lot more damage. It does, instead of, okay. But this is a +2, so it's technically a +4, +8, which I think is better than a +0, +10. And this thing has freezing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with this. This definitely is doing more damage than the other weapon. It just depends on how much I value the extra armor. So here, I'm gonna break line of sight. I'm gonna make him come to me. There we go, and then I'm gonna move in. So now he didn't get that many arrows off on me. That's how you want to approach centaurs. If you ever approach them in the open, well, just don't. You should always be able to break line of sight. Freed slaves. What are we at? 12. How much is this? Actually, this whip of freezing is probably already at its base delay. I mean, its minimum delay. Yeah, it's at 12, and that's where we're at, right? Yeah, we're already at 12. Okay, so we can move on to something else. Let's get some into armor. We're going to be wearing heavy armor most likely, so this will allow us to not be hindered by the armor. Okay, this is dangerous. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get lucky with a blowgun and poison this guy. We'll use the Curare needles. Okay, so he's slowed and he's poisoned. We'll let them do their work. Curare needles are super powerful. Okay, we missed them. We got needles of slowing. We did slow him. Oh, they didn't last very long. Alright, so let's go. Let's just fight him now. Bam. Okay, we're good. Get back our Curare needles. Scroll of blinking. Nice. Alright, let's see what we got. Identify. Let's identify this potion. Berserk Rage. Okay. Oh, and I did figure out why he doesn't train. Trog just actually doesn't let you train invocations because his abilities are not affected by it, so they don't give you the option to train it. So basically, you can't reduce the failure percentage of Brothers in Arms by trading invocations. You just have to get, you just have to make Trog like you more, basically, which just means killing stuff. Okay. So we got a pretty good setup here. We're definitely by no means invincible. This guy might hurt. I don't know who this is. Maybe later. Yeah, this guy. Okay, glowing plate armor, and that might be something that takes away our fire resistance armor. Positive energy. So it's not as good. Actually, let's see how much it hinders us. Let's look at this. I want to hit something. Actually, can I just do control? So actually, this is still taking me point. It hasn't hindered me at all, weapon speed wise. I think it might hinder you in your maybe your damage or your accuracy. Maybe your accuracy. But my weapon speed was not affected, and it might just be that I'm skilled enough. I don't know. Actually, to be honest with you, I'll have to read on the wiki about armor, training the armor skill, and seeing exactly what it reduces. But I know it's definitely something you want if you're going to be in heavy armor. So plate armor is the heaviest armor. The positive energy enchantment is not as desirable to me, I don't think, as the resist fire. Especially since we already have a 1 resist fire. I think it's really good when you can stack them. But I think the extra armor, I mean, you can see now we're at 14, which is a lot better than what we were at 8. So We're definitely gonna be wearing this over the fire resistance chain. Okay, there's enchant armor. We'll save that. So I guess I should explain why I'm saving. So the enchant armor, I suggest that if you're new, to use them, because if you're dead, then they're not useful at all, right? So you might as well just use them. And what you can do is you'll just enchant all your armor, and basically every scroll of enchant armor is worth +1 extra armor class, because that's what you're gonna do. So instead of, if I were to use it now, I'd go up to 15 armor class, which is good. It's really, if you're trying to stay alive, that's what you want to be doing. However, if you have some, and later on in the game you'll end up fighting dragons or trolls, specifically dragons if you're like a melee guy. And the dragons have a chance to drop their hides, and if you enchant the hides, they actually turn into dragon armor, equivalent to whatever color dragon you killed. So red dragon armor, gold dragon armor, whatever, and they're all different. But ideally, that's what you want. So I like to save them for that purpose. At least have a couple on hand. So I'm not just gonna waste them right now. And who knows, we might change out some of our gear, and we definitely will. So I'm gonna hold on to mine for now. But if you get a surplus, like I said, don't be afraid to add a couple extra armor to yourself. We should be okay with this guy, yeah. So we're able to take one of his hips pretty well. Oh, we got another ring. Let's see what this is. Let's take off our protection from fire ring. Plus ring. Okay, we're keeping that. More strength, so we're at 28 strength. Oh, and it might also be, I'm pretty sure that how much the armor actually hinders you is also largely affected by your strength. And our strength is pretty much ridiculous right now at 28. So it might also be why we're not being hindered by anything. But we're still going to train armor, so I think it, like I said, I have to read and figure out exactly what it does. But let's just try taking this off. Ring of Flight, nah, we don't want that. We will keep the poison resistance. I think poison resistance is good to have. This guy should be easy. Blinks around, no big deal. Just don't rage on those guys. We'll come charging at him. We got plenty of time before he kills us with bows. Alright, boots. Do we have boots? I think we do have boots, right? No, we don't have boots. Okay, good. So this is an extra armor now. Now we're at 17 armor. Okay. Oh, Book of Tempests. No, we want to drop that. Trog hates books, hates spells. You'll never be a spellcaster if you're worshipping Trog. He actually enjoys it when you burn spell books. So when you come across a spell book, just hit A, use your ability burn spell books. Trog will set it on fire, and you will get a lot of extra piety with him. Should be good with all these things. Yep. All right. Okay. We're looking pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, some more altars. We're already worshipping Trog. Oh, here we go. Your Sif and a bunch of wizards. We should be fine. Kill all of them, yep. If I was lower level and not as prepared, that is a dangerous door to walk in, but we're good. Keep chopping up some corpses. Okay, so Trog is now 5 out of 6 pips as far as worshipping. Did he give us any? No. But we are moving right along. So let's go to D8. We should be fine with all these guys. I'm getting pretty confident, and this is where you will die. This is how I die most often. Is I get to this point where I'm comfortable, I'm killing everything, nothing seems like it can stop me, but this game is meant to get harder the deeper you go down, and it will get harder, and you'll go from comfortable to can't kill anything very fast if you stop playing safely. Armor skill reached level 10, so we're going to stop on armor, and actually I'm going to get some dodging. Now, dodging is less effective if you're like a strength guy, but it's still good to have some dodging. So I think especially being a melee guy, you don't really have too many skills you can diversify in. Like really, throughout the game, I'll be leveling fighting, maces and flails, armor, and dodging, and that's probably it. Actually, do we have any shields? Because we're only wielding a one-handed weapon. Do we have any? No, no shields. So I'd like a shield or a two-handed weapon. But Trog, that's the other benefit. One of the big benefits of worshiping Trog is he will, once you get almost pretty much maxed out in piety, he will start gifting you weapons and basically usually weapons, and they're usually enchanted very well. Sometimes you'll get artifact weapons, and so that's a big incentive to be with Trog. Like here, our first artifact, I believe, +2 crystal plate of depression, random corrosion, resist poison, dex +9. Huh. Cannot tell you how tempted I am. I think crystal plate is stronger than yes, it is. Incredibly heavy but extremely effective. So it's heavier than plate armor. 14 base armor, encumbrance 23. It'll give me 20 AC. It gives me +9 dex, so that'll help with a little bit of dodging. Protects me from poison, so I could wear a different ring. But it may corrode your equipment when you take damage. That's risky. Okay, I can't buy this, but it's just something to keep in mind. The corrosion thing is basically when I get hit, I have a chance to be corroded, and corrosion basically reduces the effectiveness of your armor. So you're basically easier to kill, easier to hit. You take more damage, and if that happens at a bad time, which it almost always will happen at a bad time, you'll just be in the middle of a fight doing fine. All of a sudden you're corroded because your armor is got a bad effect on it, and now all of a sudden you're taking a lot of damage. So I wish it didn't have that, obviously, but maybe we'll find something better. But I am very intrigued by it, I will say that. But I have a feeling we'll find something better. The dexterity is nice, but it's not. Oh, okay, so I think we found the lair. The Hydra. Okay, so the Hydras are the next difficulty up as you go down. They're the next challenge you'll face. If you're wielding a bladed weapon, you cannot fight a Hydra. You will cut their heads off, and they will grow back twice as many as before, and they'll just keep growing heads, and every head attacks individually. So if you have a bladed weapon, you're just gonna kill yourself trying to fight this thing. But that's one of the reasons I like maces and flails so much, is so I can avoid that. But don't be too discouraged, because if you find them, you can just avoid them. You just wait. Obviously, you can just run away and fight elsewhere. You don't have to fight them. But we should be all right. It also helps that. Okay, wow, we got a lot of experience for that. All right, so dodging is 7. All right, I'm gonna go back to maces and flails for a little bit. Okay, we don't want to be being attacked by 2 at a time, so let's just do this. Okay, good here. What is this? A whip of draining. Oh, we have too many items. Alright, so here I'm going to drop the tomahawks. I think I'm done with the slingshot, the hunting sling. I'm not really going to use that anymore. I'm done with the mace. Probably not going to use the flail, but I'm going to keep it though, just in case. I'm going to drop the animal skin. I'm not going to use the... Well, we'll see about the ring of... So we can drop all that stuff. And I won't miss it. The wands of slowing I can keep for now. Let's also drop the potion of poison. Let's read some identify scrolls and identify this scroll of immolation. We can also drop the scroll of noise. That's kind of useless. We don't want the immolation either. That's better if you're a ranged character. Enchant armor. No, what's all this? Okay. I think that's good for now. So let's see if this whip is like a plus maybe 4. Is it? No, I wielded the wrong one. Oops. Whip of draining. +0. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick with the whip of freezing. So we can kill all these things. I believe this is the lair entrance, because those were all lair enemies. Nope, it wasn't. Or it must be getting close, though. What is this? Falchion of Flaming. Another altar. Oh, I need to eat. Oops. Let's eat a piece of pizza. Let's eat another piece of pizza. Let's go to the next level. So the dungeon. Oh, there's the Orcish Mines with some wargs. We should be fine. Let's just do some stair dancing here. Get 2 of them at a time. Yep. 3 might have been a little interesting, but we're fine with 2. Okay. Let's rest up. Alright, so I guess I should talk about the dungeon and how the dungeon itself is laid out. If you press Control O, this brings up a dungeon overview. This is very good for figuring out where you are, what you've seen. So you can see all the altars you've discovered. There's all the gods and which ones you've found and haven't found. Every god is in the game, like in every game. So you'll find them eventually, but just a matter of when. Like if you want to find a specific god, like you want to worship one, you can just wait it out and you'll eventually find it. So you see the top, the dungeon is 15 levels deep, and we've discovered 9 out of the 15 levels. The temple, which we found but we didn't go into, that's basically where you'll find all the altars. Probably all the ones that I'm missing are in the temple. That's where you go if you want, like early game, pick out a god. Like there's a bunch of temples in there. You just go in and pick one you want, and it's usually around that level, like Dungeon 5. And then the Orcish Mines we just found. It tells you where it's at. Dungeon 9. There's 4 levels deep, and then it's telling us that the lair is. We haven't found the lair yet, but it's usually found in the dungeon 8 through 11. So we should be coming up on the lair here shortly. Now the progression that I do the dungeon, then I go into the lair. And then after the lair, I'll probably do the Orcish Mines, and then I'll go from there. So there's a lot of branching. There's a lot more than just the dungeon, the temple, the orc, and the lair. There's like, there's going to be a lot of them. I'm not even going to get into it. You can look at the wiki for all the levels, but there is a lot of them. I think I completed, like if you ever beat the game, I've beaten it once, with an Ice Elementalist, Merfolk Ice Elementalist actually, and I think my total playtime was like 18 hours or something like that. Maybe might even be longer actually. I don't know, but I think that for some reason that number is popping into my head. But yeah, it takes a while. Like if you do good, and it's gonna take you a while to explore everything and get what you need. Oh, is that shiny helmet? Looks like an artifact helmet, but because we have horns, we cannot wear it. So it's useless to us. I don't even want to know what it is. Okay. Here's another god. See, we got corroded. We got corroded. So even our whip takes corrosion there. So now it's a -2 whip. We got corrosion -4. So now the whip is worse. Our armor is worse. We're just worse. And it doesn't last very long. But it's very dangerous. If you're being attacked by a lot of enemies and you get corroded. And if you don't kill the thing that's corroding you, and the corrosion will just keep getting worse. So your whip and your armor will just keep getting worse every time you get corroded. So you don't want that to happen. Which is why I'm not a big fan of that armor down there, even though it's cool. Oh, there we go. Speaking of artifact armor, please be good. Please be good. This is one of the best parts about this game, is finding random artifacts, and then seeing if it's good or if it's complete trash. Because just because it's an artifact, it can be completely trash. Let's see. +6 plate, resist negative, magic resist, regen, stealth -. Yes, this is a very good piece of armor. Okay, so not only does it give us our 10 armor rating that our other plate armor gave us, but it's a +6, so it gives us more than well, not double, but it gives us 50%, 60% more armor than the last item, and it gives us negative energy resistance, extra magic resistance, and it's got regen. Wow, it's got regen too. That's awesome. So yeah, and then it makes you less stealthy, but we are not stealthy at all because we're wearing heavy armor, so that might as well not even be there. This is a really good piece of armor. So now if we look, we have a little bit of magic resistance. We have resist negative, and we do have the the regen, right? Does it say regen? Yeah, we have regen. So yeah, we're good. This is really good. Now our armor class is all the way up to 25. Yeah, I'd really like a shield at this point, or a two-handed artifact weapon, and then I'll be set. With a shield, we'd be really hard to kill. Okay, I got a little bit corroded there. Really? You're gonna make me go through this bush? Sure, I will. I don't care. Oh, he came out. Okay. That's probably what I should have done instead of trying to go through the bush. Alright, so we're looking good. We are looking really good. This is a good run. Let's go to dungeon 10. Now, just because the dungeon, and I said that, okay, let's go up, stair dance. Just because I said that, you know, we're gonna do the dungeon, then we're going to the lair, then we're doing this, and then we're doing that, it doesn't mean that you complete that level. And it's gonna be hard, like, cause you're like, oh, I'm just going through the dungeon, I might as well just complete it. No, you don't, because once you find the lair, every level that you go down in this dungeon, it gets harder. You're gonna start seeing enemies you haven't seen, enemies that are even as strong as we are, as powerful as we are, killing everything right now. They're capable of killing us. So a lot of times in this game, you'll get to a certain point. Like I'll probably get to like dungeon 11, dungeon 12. And then I'll have to leave the dungeon and go to the lair, because it'll be easier enemies than what I'm fighting in the dungeon. And then I'll be doing that a lot probably. I'll definitely finish the lair before I move on, but you'll see if this game gets anywhere that I'll be doing a lot of incomplete dungeons, just because it scales. The difficulty just goes too fast. You need to go to easier levels of other places. So I'm going to use burn spell books here. Make him happy. Do I have a cloak on already? I do. Okay. So we don't need that. We actually are capped out again. I need to drop something. We're going to drop the... Well, yeah. And let's... do I have another scroll? I do. I'm going to identify this scroll. Oh, wow. Scroll of Acquirement. This thing is really good. We're going to read it right now. And we're going to ask for a badass weapon. See how it's in blue? That's very good. So this thing is basically you ask for any item you want, like a category, and it will give it to you. And generally what it gives you is going to be like an artifact. And it's like, these things are super rare though. So we got lucky. Scroll of Acquirement. What do you want? So I know I need a weapon. So I'm going to hit a weapon. Something appears at your feet. Rune Dire Flail. Okay, so we didn't get lucky. It wasn't an artifact. Let's see if it's any good. +2 Dire Flail of Holy Wrath. So this is a two-handed weapon, right? Let's see. It is a two-handed weapon. So this does more damage, a lot more damage than the. It's close. This thing does more damage. It doesn't have the freezing property, but I think it's better than the Whip of Freezing. The Holy Wrath is kind of pointless most of the time, but when you do fight undead, it's really good, and it's actually really good at the end game. So I'll probably end up holding on to this and using it a lot if I get that far. So let's see. I'll only identify these potions. Potion of Mutation. Let's identify this. Invisibility. That's not bad. Let's drop some stuff here. Let's drop the stone. Let me turn off picking up that stuff. Where is it? We don't want javelins. We don't want slings or stones or tomahawks. Or tomahawks. We'll keep needles. And let's put on some of these rings and amulets. Amulet of Warding. We'll keep that. That is basically wards you. It protects you from summoned creatures. It's very good. It's kind of specific. I'll end up changing it out eventually, but it's better than nothing, which we had previously. Let's try the ring on over the poison resistance. Ring of invisibility. We don't need that. Put on this on. And then we will put on this ring over the poison resistance. See invisible, that's really good. That's useful. You'll come across enemies that are permanently invisible in this game. One of the big ones is the Unseen Horror. They usually see them towards the bottom of the dungeon, and they will completely destroy you. They hit hard, unless you can see them with See Invisible. They will kill you. So just something to keep in mind. But is it better than poison resistance? Probably not. So I'll just put it on when there's an invisible enemy around. But in the meantime, I'll leave on poison resistance. All right. Oh, we got an enchanted dagger, huh? Okay, or short sword. Okay, let's see. This is what is that? A hill giant. So that's like an ogre, but extreme, but worse. So if I'm gonna fight him, I'm probably gonna have to use Trog. Yeah, I'm gonna go berserk. I don't want to fuck with it. Actually, you know what? I could probably use a potion of might. Yeah, let's do that. He's probably okay. Good, sweet. We do a lot more damage, and our strength goes all the way up to 33, severely increasing our damage output. We don't care about the short sword. Here's an invisible enemy. This might be the I don't think it's an invisible horror. I think it's it's the sky beast. Yeah. Okay. Not worried about him. We should be able to just roll right through most of this stuff. All right, this guy. I think he's easy. Should be easy. Looks dangerous. Yeah, he's not. I'm not worried about him. There we go. Killing him. We're moving right along. Oh, we want to drop that and burn it to make Trog happy. Burn spell books. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got here. Wielding a battle axe of venom. Okay, so the battle axe of venom would be a little worrisome, but we have poison resistance, so we don't care. Alright, let's go here so we can only be attacked by one at a time. Kill this guy, kill that guy. We should keep doing this. Yep, up. Okay. And there we go. Let's chop all these up. Then there's the lair. It's protected by, so this thing hits kind of hard. Yeah. If we had less HP and weren't so protected, it'd be more dangerous, but we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead now. In this game, inventory management becomes a thing. So now there's a couple ways you can do it. Now in this game, in older versions, it was generally considered that lair, the second level of the lair, is the best place for a stash, because enemies can still randomly spawn in levels you've already cleared out, and the worry is that if a slime, a jelly or a slime spawns on that level, when they walk over items, they actually devour them. So I think it was before, it was like, okay, layer 2 is it has the least chance of or jellies can't spawn, so you don't have to worry about it. So it puts all your shit there. Now, I think that they got rid of that. I'm pretty sure that they got rid of all that. But it's just I don't know. It's just ingrained. I just like having my stash in the lair. I don't put it on layer 2 anymore, but I do. I just put it in the lair. I think the lair is a nice central location, because there's a lot of branching places from the lair. There's 3 branching places actually. And you'll just I don't know. That's just where I put it. You don't even have to have a stash. You can just drop items on the fly, and when you want to know if you have something, okay, well, shit, did I ever drop a weapon of holy wrath? That'd be really nice to have. It's not important to have it in one spot and then be able to go back to it, because you can just control find for holy wrath, and then it'll just tell you if you have anything. Or you can just do mace or something, and it'll tell you all the maces you found in the entire dungeon, exactly where it's located. And if I find it on this list, I just click it, it'll show me where it is, and I can just hit enter to go right to it. So there's not really even a need for a stash, but I like it because I do like the idea of just having all my stuff in a central location, being able to go to it, and just having it all organized, and that's just me. That you don't have to play that way. If you do have a stash, you'll spend a lot of time in the game running back to your stash and dropping off stuff, because you're going to fill up your inventory a lot in this game. But so this is just how I play. It's completely up to you. You don't need to do this, but it's how I do it. So I drop. I'm gonna drop everything I'm not gonna use. I'm gonna keep the blowgun. So I'm gonna have a weapon pile. I don't need any of this anymore. I'll have an armor pile. We'll drop these. The needles I'll keep. I'm gonna have a jewelry pile. I'm gonna keep the sea invisible. I'll drop this, drop that. I don't think I want the ring of fire or protection from. Well, I'll keep these two. You never. If I come across a fire enemy, it could be nice. And flight, I'll keep. Invisibility. I shouldn't keep it, but I will, because I'm just gonna drop it later. But whatever. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it, not have it. That's how they say it, right? I already have 2 wands of slowing. I probably won't. You should use your wands early. I don't do this, and this is a bad habit, but wands, they fall off pretty fast late game. So you should generally use your wands when you get them. There's no reason not to use your wands. You just use them when they're out of charges. Then you can just drop them, and if you want, you can recharge them later. But I mean, you might as well use them, especially if you're a melee guy and it gives you an alternate range attack. Now, the cold is good, lightning is good, slowing is not bad, flames. Okay, I'll keep these. I'll have to start using them. Let's drop scrolls. I'll keep these. I'll keep the blinkings and teleportations. I don't want to keep the enchant armor. I'll leave them here. Keep the scroll of fog in case I need to flee. We don't want potion of mutation or ambrosia. And actually, I'm gonna drop the ring of flight because I have potions of flight, so there's no need for it. And I'll drop invisibility ring just because I have a potion of invisibility. I'll also drop the potion of brilliance. I'm not gonna need that. We'll do that, yes. And then food, I'll drop everything except for the meat rations. We'll do this, and this. Now you can also drop certain numbers of items. Like if you hit a number and then hit the letter, it'll drop that many of that item. So like for example, if I wanted to drop 9 of these fruits, I could just hit 9N, and now it's only going to drop 9 fruits. So just that's something that it took me actually a long time to learn that. And then I'll drop all this. So now I've cleared up some space. I have 33 out of 52 slots. I mean, I'm still going to fill up pretty quick, but that's okay. We got a lot of options here. So that's my stash. So I'm in the lair. Did I clear out the previous level? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Alright, let's just go to the lair. Okay, so here's a Hydra. 5-headed Hydra. Yeah, he could be dangerous. Let's channel some of these guys in here. Okay. Okay, so Troll granted me a gift. This is my first god gift. Let's see if it's any good. It's a rune great mace. Probably not going to be better than... Actually, it might be. It's a great mace, too, so it's a 2-handed, which is good. Okay, so I lied. It's better. These are both really good weapons. But the +3 great mace. Let's see. I think it's got... Nope, it's got 17 base damage. Holy shit, it's a lot better. Yeah. It attacks a lot slower, though, I believe. This is a .7. Oh, and its minimum delay is reached at level 20, and our skill is only 15.8. So we can actually make this attack even faster. So what was the dire flail? So it attacks a little 1.4, and this is 1. Yeah. So the flail attacked a lot faster. This hits a lot harder, and it's draining. I'm gonna keep it. I like this a little better. Now I am gonna hold on to the flail, because if I fight undead, I can switch to it, and it'll be a lot more effective. There's a lot of experience here. So we come across an ant colony. Here's the queen here. I don't know how hard she is. Not that hard apparently, and we should be able to steamroll all of these guys. We do have poison resistance, otherwise this would be going a lot worse. Okay, we're good. Now lair, it definitely steps up in difficulty. Not so much what you've seen so far, but there are like the hydras, for example. They are pretty difficult if you're not prepared for them. Um, Also, there's like uniques like her. Curari tipped needle, so that it didn't do anything, which is good. It's got a lot of evasion. She she leaps. She's got knives. She's got teleport and blink. Huh. I think she's got a fucking dagger of. All right. So this is one of those times where I recommend. I actually haven't gone over this yet. If you guys come across a unique, I highly suggest you type the unique into the wiki, dungeon crawl, and this will tell you everything about them, and this is very important. A wield a dagger or short sword of distortion, venom draining, as well as blowgun with Chiari needles. Huh. Alright. I do have a wand of disintegration. So here's the problem. I've been killed by her before, not because she's ridiculous. Does it tell me what she's wielding? She's wielding a blowgun right now. Yeah, she's got a blowgun right now. She's very fast, and she has a chance to be wielding a weapon of distortion. And the weapons of distortion have a chance when they hit to send the person they hit to the abyss. Now the abyss is a very difficult place of nothingness. It's usually how my characters die. Like I get really far in the game and I do something. I come across an enemy that's capable of sending you to the abyss, and they do. And I usually die in the abyss. A lot of my really far characters that were like level 20, like just really high, like could easily beat the game, have been killed to the abyss. So I do not want this character to be sent to the abyss. So I don't want to engage her in melee. So I'm gonna try, because they said her magic resistance is low, and wand of she has like nothing. So wand of disintegration is very powerful wand. Chance to defeat magic resistance 73%. She's probably not going to resist this. Okay. She's still got the blowgun. I'm okay with her shooting Curari tip needles because I'm resistant to poison. Curari will go through poison resistance, but this is fine. As long as she doesn't break out a distortion weapon. So I'm going to try to do that again because she actually resisted it. She resisted it again. Really? Let's try it one more time. Okay, so that time she got me. So she slowed me. Let's do invisibility. Let's go invisible. She lost me. Okay. Can I do another disintegration? Why is she resisting so well? Like, I have terrible luck. She's got a 73 chance to defeat magic resistance. A 73% to succeed. And there we go. That hit her. Alright. So she's going to teleport herself because she's injured. Maybe I can kill her with a wand of coal before she does. Yep, nice. And we'll just keep going with the... yep, so now we have 30 strength, which is ridiculous. Okay, so she had a short sword of draining. So I could have fought her in melee and been fine. But like I said, I've been sent to the abyss by her. She's one of the ones you want to watch out for. Just check her weapons, hit Control X. And if it says she's wielding a weapon of distortion, do not engage her in melee, because you will lose your character. And Trog decides to grant me another gift. Thank you, Trog. Let's see if it's probably not gonna be better than this mace. I seriously doubt it can be better than this mace. Yeah, not better than this mace. Asmos. So this is another character I've lost. And now, once you've defeated a character, a character's ghost, it'll go away forever. You'll never have to fight him again. A journeyman demon spawn gladiator. So this guy is also... Okay, so this is where we're going to wield our Holy Wrath, because he's undead. And we're going to go berserk here. We're going to eat something first, because we don't want to be starving before we berserk. This guy is very dangerous because he was my another melee character, and he can definitely duke it out with me. Let's see, was he wielding? A Vorpal weapon. I actually don't know what a Vorpal weapon does. It's not distortion, so maybe it just attacks really fast. I don't know. I think we're fine with this Holy Wrath and going Berserk. I'm gonna do it. Okay, we'll wait for him. We don't want him to get the first. Oh, does he? Okay, we'll walk to him. That might be a weapon that attacks 10 feet. I mean, not 10 feet, but 2 spaces away. Okay, easy. Alright, just don't want to take any chances. Like I said, player ghosts are pretty ridiculous in terms of power. I actually watched a YouTube video today of a guy playing Dungeon Crawl, and he actually, because you can, you can delete the ghosts in your game if you want to. You can. There's when your character dies, its file gets put into a folder, and that's how the game knows, like, okay, these guys in this folder are the ghosts that you could encounter. He actually goes through and deletes all of them before he starts a game. He doesn't play with player ghosts. His argument is that the game is hard enough by itself, and he wants to play the base game without any other interruptions. But to me, my personal opinion is that let me switch to my draining mace here. There we go. My personal opinion is that the ghosts are here because that's how the designers want the game to be played. That's why there's not an option to turn ghosts off. That's why they automatically appear, is because that's part of the difficulty of the game, is overcoming your dead heroes. So to me, I consider it cheating to an extent, but it's his game. You know what I mean? You can, whatever, as long as you're having fun, who cares? But that's not something I would do. And I actually kind of enjoy it, coming across the ghost of a character that you haven't played for a year or something, and like I think I have probably 2 or 3 characters that are in the Abyss, and I've never actually gone to the Abyss, because eventually you have to go to the Abyss, and get a rune. You have to clear out the Abyss, basically, and I've never gotten that far to where I've been strong enough to go through the Abyss. So I think I've lost like 2 really high level characters. So I think if I ever make it that far, I'm gonna have a rough time in the Abyss, because I have some high level characters that are waiting for revenge for me killing them. All right. See, the Hydra's hitting us surprisingly hard, even with all this armor. Well, I'm gonna probably go back into fighting after I get this to level 20, our maces and flails. Let's see here. Let's see. Do I have identify scrolls? I do. Let's get this scroll revealed. Scroll of summoning. That's good. Let's put on this ring. Maybe it's another. Nah, not gonna be a positive energy. Yeah, I don't care about that. I'd rather have the poison resistance. Okay. Alright. Oh, what is that? A warped whip. Oh wow, here we go. It cannot be better. Well, it can be a lot better, actually. Artifacts can get pretty crazy. It's a flaming whip +4. And it's got resist cold +1. Actually, I don't think that's better than what I have. Oh, so 2. Yeah, there's no way this is better than what I have. This great mace is just outrageous in terms of damage. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, let's burn this book. There you go, Trog, just for you. No spells will be cast in this game. Alright. I think with that, I'm gonna take a break and pick up on the next video. Let me make sure that I'm set up for the next run. I got this going, get this going. Let me eat. I'll go ahead and eat this piece of bread. And we're gonna stop there, and see you in the next video.